What is up, Justin?
What up?
13th, 15th,
Taco Ball Tuesday.
20th time Zoom user. I don't know. I don't care.
First time Zoom user, baby.
Zoom.
I feel like the intro song has got to change from Taco Ball Jones. I think at least for this one, it's got to be Kawhi. Too sexy for these hands. Too sexy for these hands. So sexy, yeah.
Too sexy for these. He legitimately had a line in that song. I think. I still couldn't make it out, but he was contributing to that song.
Okay. Happy Taco Ball Tuesday. Welcome back from the extended break. Had Labor Day week off. Had a little time with the family. Hope you all had some time to rest and relax. It's time to enjoy your favorite tandem discussing Taco Bell and the NBA. What say you, Mr. Ogden?
Yeah, we're back at it, bringing you some things that are happening in the league, or some, might I say, rampant speculation on the side of some key free agency. So let's start with John Wall. Let's talk about some of the other, some of the big names that are still on the board and have not yet found a destination. So John Wall, you think this guy's literally going to end with the Lakers?
No, definitely not. What are they even going to do with him? I mean, unless they package players that they just traded for or just signed, which I feel like maybe with a guy that's traded you can, but a guy that you just signed, you have to wait until partway through the season. But the Rockets said they're committed to not playing him until they find someone. So I feel like they could keep him into the season and he just won't play. But he's been so injury riddled. I don't know how many people are willing to take a flyer on him. And I don't know who, I guess, is in the mix that's close that would even have people to give up for him. Like, I don't even know where he makes sense. Like, he makes sense on a Houston, on a team just like Washington, where he's like the number one and the team stinks and he just puts up big numbers. But could he be useful? I don't know. You almost don't, like, if you're Phoenix, you don't want to give up any young talent from your backcourt, like a Cameron Payne, or like you just on somebody who has. So I don't know. I don't know where he goes. He's free. Or he's being shopped around. I don't see the Rockets getting a lot for him.
Are we going to have another James Harden scenario where the dude like lackadaisically shows up and plays some minutes and is about 30 pounds overweight?
No, I don't think. I think this is going to be an Anthony Davis situation where they don't play him. He'll show up in a suit or whatever and sit on the bench. I don't think he sees any minutes until he's traded, especially with his injury past. Like, what are they going to do? Put him out there for lackadaisical minutes? He's going to blow out his knees again, and that'll be the end of it. So I don't know. Could he come off the bench as a spark plug in Portland? Could he go be a shooting guard? Does Portland try and get desperate to please Dame and swap McCollum? Or do they bring him in, like I said, for a second option as a shooting guard? I don't know. I feel like the teams that are contenders have solidified themselves. Like the Denver Nuggets just signed like Aaron Gordon to like $92 million, and he's a career 12-point per game guy. What are they doing? Like, how do these players that are just like mid-level just get astronomical contracts? It's just gotten outrageous.
Yeah.
And then they're going to find themselves unable to give like Nikola and Murray like big money because they have a contract with Aaron Gordon.
Those guys, they'll still get their checks. It's just going to be like the Will Barton, some of the
who's not like Michael Porter Jr. Is he going to get irritated and want to go somewhere? I don't know. Maybe they swapped Michael Porter Jr. for John Wall. I don't know. Nothing super.
A couple other big names that are still on the board. You mentioned Dame. So we got Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, and the biggest wild card that's still in this deck of cards, Ben Simmons.
So you say still on the board, but like they are just unhappy with their teams and organizations. And Dame, not as much. I feel like his was more of like a warning shot, but I don't feel like Portland has.
You think he's staying in Portland?
I think for this season, but I don't think they did anything to really appease him. So maybe this season starts to go sour. Maybe he decides to sit out. Maybe he pulls a James Harden, which would be very disappointing because I like Dame and I don't want to have to dislike him because he becomes a quitter, lazy bum.
Joins the dark side.
Out of shape and just quits on everybody. I'm not into that. So Simmons definitely going to have to go. But I can see Philadelphia starting the season with him. But now with John Wall not wanting to play in Houston and what? Daryl Morey, wasn't he in Houston? Now he's in Philly. Does he find a way to exile Ben Simmons to Houston in exchange for John Wall?
They ship Ben Simmons off to Houston.
I have figured out a destination that makes sense. Like, send him back east, pair him with Embiid. Hopefully he's healthy. But if not, you've gotten rid of a guy who definitely doesn't want to be there and nobody else wants there. So even if he's not super successful, I think you could almost coax a first or a couple seconds. You got to be able to get a first and John Wall for Ben Simmons. You heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here first. Ben Simmons to the Rockets for a little John Wall in return and more. We'll see. So I've got another question for you, Justin.
Yeah.
I recently started following The Athletic, which I think is very fine, high quality journalism. Shout out to Zach Harper, who does some fantastic NBA season previews. And he's done some really good off-season reports. And he provided this summary of 6 statuses for all 30 teams in the league and kind of categorizes them. So I want to read these to you, and I want to hear where you see the Cleveland Cavaliers and why. So how an offseason, I'm reading straight from one of his offseason reports here. How an offseason ended up for each team depends on what their goals are for constructing their group of guys. These are the statuses available for all 30 teams. So we have rebuilding franchise, tired of rebuilding franchise, the play-in tournament gives them life, playoff hopeful, on the brink of contention, contender, and championship or bust. So I guess those are 7 different statuses. So where do your Cleveland Cavaliers fall into that, looking at the season ahead?
Well, I think you could eliminate several of those are right off the bat. So they're either rebuilding or tired of rebuilding. And with some of the moves that they made, I feel like they're tired of rebuilding. But they're just going to keep doing it because they're just such a dysfunctional, bad organization. Like, they're tired of rebuilding. So we're going to spend a bunch of money. We're going to bring in some guys. But right now they have like a ton of guards and like 4 centers. So what is their direction? So they're not necessarily rebuilding because they have no direction. They're not rebuilding towards anything. They're sick of rebuilding. So they just load it up with stuff that makes no sense. I think they were hoping
it all up.
Yeah, I think they were hoping they could get off of Kevin Love's contract. They can't. I think they're just like, we're going to be terrible again, but we're sick of, I don't know, knowing we're going to be terrible going in. So let's spend some money and maybe we can exceed expectations. So I feel like there should be like the play-in gives us hope. I feel like that there either needs to be a seventh category, or that one needs to get renamed as like hoping to exceed expectations. So the expectations are very low. They're not necessarily rebuilding because they don't really know how to rebuild. They're just throw a bunch of money at it and hope that they do better than what they've got in the past. So
yeah, it's like, let's blow it all up, but let's have fun in the process and just kind of see what happens.
like the Knicks, like I feel like they were in a similar situation, and they went out and were like, well, we're just going to bring in Tom Thibodeau, and he is going to make everybody play so hard every night. All of our starters are going to play like 44 to 46 minutes, and they overachieved and then were completely burnt out and had nothing, and got smoked by Atlanta in the playoffs. So the Cavs could do that, but I just don't think they have a coach that's capable of getting everyone to commit to defense. But like you said, there's going to be some really fun nights where they have like just like the insane rim protection, and a team that they're facing just can't make a three. And you have like, there could be multiple games where teams don't score 70 points. So they could be very fun and entertaining, but also very atrocious.
And put up like ridiculous defensive numbers too. But
yeah, like have like 17 blocks in a game, like, and shoot 30% from the field.
Yeah. So what I like about the different statuses, it kind of like tempers expectations and more realistically sets kind of, okay, what's my expectation for my team going into the season? So for me, as I think about the San Antonio Spurs, it's like totally in that rebuilding phase that I would be shocked if they even sniffed at the play-in. And I'm okay with that, because I think they, like, unlike the Cavs, I trust the management and the decisions that the Spurs, they've built that credibility.
Yes.
Because they've won, they've played the game, and they've played it well. So
this is the thing. The Spurs are clearly rebuilding. The Cavs don't want to be rebuilding, so they're throwing money at something. And I would bet all my assets, everything that I have saved up in the bank, that the San Antonio Spurs will have a better record than the Cavs. And the Spurs got rid of any semblance of a star left on their team, right? Like, there's Patty Mills is gone, DeRozan's gone,
Aldridge gone.
Aldridge has been gone. He's going to come back and play for somebody else now that he's cleared. I hope he stays healthy. But who do they have? Luke Kennard?
Did DeJounte Murray?
Is he on somebody else's team? I don't even know if he's on their team.
Devin Vassell?
No.
Total rebuild.
Right.
And not just rebuild, but like, we're sending half of our squad to the Austin Toros rebuild. Like, we're giving them reps in the G League, and then calling them up.
Yeah, but like, if they're all in the G League, who's playing on the roster? Are they just going to forfeit games? I don't know.
They're going to be going into some games with like.
How long does Pop stick around?
Roster.
I thought he was going to leave after the Tim Duncan era.
I feel like 2 seasons ago, he was signaling he was really vocal about how much he didn't like the political climate, and I thought he was going to hang it up after that season. Honestly, like, basically, I thought the whole Kawhi saga would pretty much just take him to a point where he said, I'm done. But I think that he's still got a couple more years left in this transition. Like, he's definitely grooming everyone else to step up in his place. He's also at the point, I've noticed this too, and I think we're going to see the same thing happening this season, where he wants to get himself ejected from games. Like, he's always been one to speak very openly to the refs and not be afraid to get tossed. But I think
He's so sour.
he's going to be more aggressive about it and just be like, oh, okay, I'm done. Like, who wants?
He's like a snob. He just like, I don't know.
He
He
sees
himself as being better than not just the refs, which probably he is, which is fine, but better than like he's above the media, he's above the refs. He can just do what he wants, and he doesn't have to answer any questions because he's a curmudgeon. Like
he's a curmudgeon. That's my point, Justin. Is he's an older man that doesn't want to play the game. Like he's not pretentious about it. He's just straight
then
up.
go home, pack up and go home. Nobody wants you here.
So anything on the Taco Bell front we need to be aware of?
I feel like I heard about something, but alas, I have nothing at the forefront.
I'm still trying to figure out, is it a chicken sandwich?
Yeah. How did the debate go? I saw a couple arguments of the debate, but I didn't get a winner.
I didn't hear enough convincing arguments. I gotta try it to
I think I'm just gonna wait till it's not on the menu anymore because I feel like it just doesn't belong. But
you're gonna hold out to that breakfast chicken.
Oh my gosh, a waffle taco with fried chicken in it and syrup. Count me in for a dozen.
That's all I got, Justin.
Nice. Oh, in parting words, just as somebody else's parting ways, the Lakers say goodbye to longtime contributor Marc Gasol. Some cash considerations, a second-round draft pick to the rights, and the rights to receive the rights for somebody that the Memphis Grizzlies drafted. Also that Marc Gasol can, I assume, retire a Memphis Grizzly and not actually ever have to leave his home
in his home country of Spain.
Yeah, but he'll retire a Grizz. But I don't know. Maybe discussion for another time. These teams that move and then they keep the team names and then they never change them, like the Lakers, like have no lakes. They live in a land of drought. The Jazz, what Jazz artist ever came out of Utah? I'll pass. And does Memphis has a lot of grizzly bears? I don't know. Maybe not as many as Vancouver, but I guess they might have some.
I think that's our next episode. Our next episode next week, we do a tier list. So we rank every franchise based on the authenticity of the mascot or the how realistic that.
Maybe not the authenticity, just the best names, the best team names in the NBA. And
I guess it's got to be active teams.
Accuracy should weigh into our rankings. So if you are the Utah Jazz, you probably have low. You're going to finish lower just because there's no Jazz in Utah. But we could discuss the Charlotte Hornets, Bobcats, Hornets situation. Yeah.
New Orleans Hornets.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research on some team names.
I like that idea. Let's do that next Tuesday and hopefully have some more juicy free agency deals to speak of. But until then, my man, take it easy. Be well.
Likewise. It's good to hear from you, and yo quiero taco ball, baby.
We'll see you again on Taco Ball Tuesday. Peace.
Later.